Hello, everyone. Okay, so my name is Amir Khosh. I focus on the commercial business development at Antycip Simulation and would like to welcome you all to our first Tech Talk episode on VR XR solutions for enterprise use with our guest partner, Varjo. So today I will be co-hosting this webinar with our guest speaker from Varjo, Marcus.
Hi, Amir. Yeah, hi, I'm Marcus here in Varjo Global Headquarters here in Finland. I'm the product manager at Varjo, so which means that I'm working very closely with our customers, taking input from all of you, and looking really forward to be here.
Cheers. So thank you for your time and joining us. We also have Enrico from Italy and Quentin from France on the webinar to help answer any regional specific questions in their respective territories. So in today's session, we will be having a quick introduction to Antycip and Varjo and what we do. Then me and Marcus will speak about the trends in the current commercial VR market, the advantages of using enterprise-grade VR technologies, followed by the latest solution capabilities available in VR XR for prototyping, design, and collaboration. So a quick introduction to Antycip Simulation. We have been operational for the past 25 years and have been riding the technology wave through the decades. In the early days of Antycip, our core capabilities were around simulation and defense, but over the years, we have expanded to commercial applications. Our parent company is Singapore Technologies, a global technology, defense, and engineering group, which you might know by SD Engineering. We have a European focus via dedicated regional territory teams in UK, France, and Italy, but we have installations all over the globe. We see ourselves as a pioneer and leader in virtual reality, visual displays, and commercial off-the-shelf technology solutions in various markets such as automotive, retail, aerospace, education, research, and so on. At Antycip, we bring innovation and technology together to create a real-world solution for our customers. We have a strong commercial and technical team that work closely with the end user to understand the detailed requirements. We then work with our selected and trusted network of suppliers, such as Varjo, to bring together a solution that fits and exceeds our customers' expectations. This enabling technology approach is only made possible with our verified technology partners, coupled with a dedicated in-house engineering expertise. So just Marcus, if I could just hand over to you to give a quick introduction, please.
Yeah, thank you, Amir. With Varjo, we are an enterprise-focused VR headset manufacturer, which means that we are here to revolutionize the immersive computing. And we were founded in 2016. We have about 120 employees right now. We have offices here in Helsinki, our headquarters, and also in Washington, D.C. and in San Francisco. We also have 12 patents and a funding of over $40 million. So we have gathered some of the best engineers to create the most advanced technology when it comes to enterprise VR headsets for the most demanding customers. The three of them that I will talk more about later is the bionic display, which gives you a very high resolution display that matches the resolution that your eye can see. We also have a 20/20 eye tracking, which means that you have very high degree of accuracy of eye tracking, and a video pass-through solution, which means that you can bring mixed reality elements into your simulation or your virtual content. And the products that we have is a VR2 and VR2 Pro, for example. That is this headset that I'm holding here, which is an enterprise headset that has the same resolution as your eyes can see. And the difference between them is the VR2 Pro has an integrated hand tracking solution, so which ultra leaps hand tracking built into the VR2 Pro. We also have a XR-1, which is this one here. This is a mixed reality headset, the world's first mixed reality headset that is capable of creating photorealistic mixed reality. It has two cameras on the front. Everything else is the same, so the display and the headset is the same, but it has this additional video pass-through solution here. And it's the Varjo XR-1 Developer Edition, also now for sale. I will speak more about them later.
Cheers. Yeah, thanks, Marcus. So in summary, Antycip basically traditionally focused on big immersive installations, given our customers' sophisticated requirements. We knew at the time that there was really no alternative HMD solution that was capable of addressing our customers' demanding requirements until we discovered Varjo, who, by the way, stands for Shadow and Finish. They have an enterprise backbone and focus, unlike typical HMD companies that started from the gaming industry. This is a crucial point to our customers, especially the ones with mission critical operations. So let's just take a step back and talk about the various VR enterprise technologies. We can generally divide VR solutions into two major categories of large immersive environments and wearable head-mounted displays. Both technologies have existed for a few decades now, but have matured over the years. Without getting too in-depth, a large immersive visual displays come in different shapes and forms, a standard configuration being the VR Cave, which stands for the Cave Automatic Virtual Environment. The Cave uses large screens at a distance from the viewer, allowing more people to experience the VR. With this configuration, images are typically projected onto three sides with a fourth projector displaying a related image on the floor, as you can see on the image on the left. The displays have a 3D stereoscopic image projecting at 120 Hz and controlled by a computer that uses a high-end graphic card. This combination allows for a full room of immersive 3D visuals that can be viewed by groups of people at the same time. The Cave can allow viewers to easily manipulate intricate 3D models with natural human-based interactions. Another simpler, I should say, configuration of an immersive display environment is the power wall, which only has one large projected face. You can see that in the middle photo. And on the far right, obviously, you're familiar with, we have a wearable head-mounted display, which Marcus will speak about later. But in total, in a large immersive environment, the hardware setup is typically highly customizable depending on the requirements of the user. Let me give you two examples. So the first being a state-of-the-art VR Cave, the Tor. So designed, built, and installed by Antycip Simulation, Tor is one-of-a-kind immersive tool for those who are working and conducting research with 3D data. The platform brings together social sciences, design, history, and digital world in a unique, innovative space which advances the capabilities of scientists and researchers at the University of Lille. As you can see from the video, Tor's screen shape is curved in all dimensions to free up users from any sharp edges to allow full immersion of up to 20 people at the same time. Yes, of course, this is a high-end example of a cave. Now, if you'd like to find out more, you can download the press release from our website. But let me give you another example of a cave. The Hiker Lab, otherwise known as the High Immersive Kinematic Experimental Research Lab, is the largest VR cave-based pedestrian simulation environment of its type in the world. Installed at Leeds University last year, the Hiker Lab allows participants to interact with a variety of urban environments and vehicles in a 9-meter by 4-meter rear projected corridor that you can essentially walk in. So the lab allows participants to interact with a variety of urban environments and vehicles. It has been designed to support safe experimental research that can be conducted in a repeatable fashion with a variety of variables with respect to automated vehicle designs, warning system designs, intersection configuration, and how people interact with built environments. Now, these are some examples of large immersive environments. I'll pass on to Marcus to give us some of the use cases and advantages of using enterprise-grade HMDs.
Yeah, thank you, Amir. Yeah, the cave system and the power walls are indeed super powerful. Many of our clients are using them already, and we are now, we formed the company in the belief that there is a place for moving these experience, the immersive experience that you've seen on power walls and caves, and making them possible to do with the same fidelity and same resolution, and even going beyond that in a more portable form factor such as the VR headset. And with that, we started out to create the bionic display, which is essentially giving you a very high resolution, where normal commercial headsets are failing to give you the sharp edges and the readability that you need when you're in a simulation, especially if you're thinking about car design reviews or in pilots training, then you really need that accuracy. So for example, if you see on the right side here, we have an example picture taken from inside the Vive Pro, where you can't really see the details as in the speed or anything. And here you see now with our bionic display, you can clearly see everything. You can read the text and you can clearly take decisions and making decisions. So if you compare them side by side here, you really have one of the big differentiators with the Varjo headset that you get across all of our devices has this bionic display. And here you see an example side by side on how it can look inside a cockpit in a simulation, where you, on the left side, you really can't read the dials and you can't see everything, but in the right side, using our bionic display, you can clearly see and read the text and do the actions that you need in a training scenario. Another differentiator is really the headset that we built has from the start were built with the idea of having a very high resolution and high accuracy eye tracker, which is our integrated Varjo 2020 eye tracker, which runs on 100 Hertz, has a sub-degree accuracy. And that is because we have the full control over the headset, and the integration is possible to make it perfectly set up so that you can really, we have cameras inside that are mounted to see with high accuracy. And here is an example on what some of our customers in retail research is using that for. So you can now create a virtual scenario, and you can then track where the user is looking and what draws his attention. And this saves a lot of money and time from our customers on doing research and getting really realistic data out of this. And another example on what you can do with our headset, especially in the VR2 Pro, which has integrated hand tracking, is that now you can see your virtual hands that are tracked with the hand tracking, and it's perfectly aligned with your real world. So when you're moving around, you can now start interacting with virtual objects in this scene. And so then we take care of this is, by the way, the hardware from Ultra Leap that we've integrated and taken care of all the licenses problems and like challenges that you don't need to actually go and make licenses and buy them from Leap Motion. So that was one of the requests that we got from many of our clients. So this is all in a bundle given to you in a packaged format in the VR2 Pro. And also, like I mentioned before, we also have the XR-1 headset here. And this was actually developed together with the car company Volvo, and where they came to us and asked for a headset that they could see the real world from and drive a real car on the roads. And we developed this together with them and got very, very low latency video pipeline that no one else has been able to achieve. So if you run the video here, or the picture, you can see that one of the things that makes this different from other mixed reality headsets, such as the HoloLens or the Magic Leap, is that you get much higher field of view of the virtual content. So on the picture on the left exemplifies what it is in a normal AR or mixed reality headset, where you have an optical see-through, where you have a limitation on the virtual content, doesn't really get immersed in it. Whereas with ours, which you can see on the right side, really gets the full length of the car out in the real, and you can see clearly reflections and things that normally, when you have an optical see-through solution, you wouldn't be able to see the clarity on that, because you have always light coming in from the real world. But with the video pass-through solution, you're able to control every pixel and able to really see clarity of the object. So here's an example from Volvo. They're really running this on a closed road, of course. This is a perfectly safe environment, but you're able to visualize a virtual interior over the real car. So you can test out, you can sit and drive in a car that doesn't exist yet and try out. And they're doing consumer research with this, with focus groups and testing out new human machine interfaces and everything using our eye tracking and the XR-1. So that's really cool. And yeah, that's it from that.
Yeah, thanks, Marcus. Yeah, so to summarize, basically, both technologies, so both the Cave and basically the HMDs that Marcus just went through, they have their pros and cons, as you can see. The biggest difference between the two is the infrastructure and real estate required, and therefore its impact on the cost, of course. Now, traditionally, Cave users had professional industry level requirements, whereas HMDs were commonly used for gaming. But now with Varjo headsets, the capabilities overlap a lot with what can be achieved in a Cave environment. Of course, there are always scenarios where one can be superior to another. So let's move on to the next topic about the trends in the commercial VR solution. So over to you, Marcus, to give a little insight to that.
Yeah, with Varjo, we are like I mentioned earlier, we are an enterprise-focused VR headset manufacturer, which is quite different from consumer-grade focused headset manufacturer, which means that we are really, that's why it's so extra nice to be here and hearing your questions and taking input from you guys that are listening, because we really, our whole roadmap is driven by requests that we get from our clients that we work closely with. And to be able to take the input from that, we're divided ourselves in 3 verticals. And these verticals are the design and engineering, the training and simulation, and research and medical. And if we start off with the design and engineering, we see that many of our customers here comes from a cave system, but they are really interested in like the capabilities that our headset provides, which comes to color qualities, the resolution, and also the fact of mobile form factor that you can take with you and do collaborations remotely. And we're helping these customers really to creating design reviews in an easy way, and which they can iterate super fast. They can actually like change the designs as they are in the design review, and which has previously been very difficult with clay models. And so we're now really like seeing many of our clients in automotive, for example, switching from clay models and possibly keeping clay models, but for VR design reviews using VR headsets more. And that's what because they haven't had the resolution before, but now we're getting there with our headset. We're getting there to be able to do the challenging design reviews that we see our clients are needing. And this helps them to cut down times and make more faster decisions. And in the vertical of training and simulation, we see this is, of course, pilot training, emergency case trainings, and medical simulations. So these clients that we see here comes from where we are delivering a very price competitive alternative to the bigger walls and installations, power walls installations, where you really can create now an immersive experience, and you can, for example, see things very closely by, also very realistic. And now, especially with the XR-1, like I should say that you're now actually able also to see your hands inside a simulation, which has been a critical request from many of the pilot trainings where you really want to engage with physical controls. And so we see that this is compared to doing these trainings out in the real scenarios, this is a lot safer and much more controlled and environment. So and when it comes to research, we see some of the major players in the consumer research, and also many universities are interested in cognitive behavior and like analyzing what the user thinks and sees. And we have clients that are also combining this with other biometric data and getting really a control environment that they can compare different people's responses, and you can measure things like pupil dilation and the accuracy of where you're looking and overlaying that and analyze that. So this is a cost-efficient method also compared to going out in the real stores and doing research there. So this is exciting for many of our clients.
Thanks, Marcus. Now, that was very interesting, the different industries and verticals that you guys look at. So now let's talk a little bit about why you may want to invest in an enterprise-grade headset. Whether you want to engage all the stakeholders to better collaborate during a project review meeting, or you may want to understand better the impact of modifications to 3D data, or even if you could maybe want to identify potential problems and challenges before execution, the results are that by using the correct application, you avoid mistakes, you reduce waste materials and minimize design errors. Therefore, more projects are on time and in budget. Now, I'd like to introduce to you TechViz. TechViz is essentially a software that brings your 3D data into VR without any conversions, and is compatible with over 200 industry standard applications. Let me show you how. So with TechViz, it is very easy to bring your CAD data into the Varjo headsets. The only thing that needs to be done is that after you load your model, as you do anyway, you load the TechViz software and you select the TechViz to display button. That is all. The data is now in 3D, ready to be navigated. Here is the Apollo Moon environment in real time. Now, Varjo and TechViz offer a perfect match for operability and ergonomic assessments. In these kind of assessments, it is vital to be able to see every bit of data. Now, for instance here, if we're looking at the labels and the push button to see if they are readable from the pilot seat, for instance. This is only possible using the Varjo's VR2 Pro's incredible resolution, as Marcus touched upon. This, coupled with the powerful TechViz software, allows for accurate studies and assessments without making any physical mock-ups. Now, there are also a lot of features built in to help engineers with their works. You can, for instance, take measurements, you can write notes on your data or cut planes. You can make bookmarks for later to help with the analysis and review. So there are plenty of built-in tools to utilize, but it's very important to know that you're not actually touching any data, you're just superimposing information on top of your data. So that doesn't lead to any corruption of your data. Now with TechViz, you can use your VR2 for remote VR sessions, either with another headset or with an immersive room, such as the caves we spoke about. When traveling is not an option, this is the way to take projects forward. There are also many advanced features to address different use cases. For instance, inserting a mannequin or testing accessibility with different virtual tools, such as a screwdriver, a drill, or a hand. So yeah, but essentially, if you'd like to find out more, we wrote an ebook with Varjo that takes a deeper dive in prototyping and design, which again, you can find on antycipsimulation.com. Now, over to Marcus to cover a few key features of Varjo headsets, and some of which are very new that have been released very recently.
Yeah, thank you. Like I said, we are really enterprise focused on taking input from our customers, and that means that we're actually able to ship software features by a regular cadence. And we have just released 2.3 a few weeks ago, and we're about to finalize the next software version 2.4. And during this year, many of the inputs that we got from our clients through webinars such as this is reflected in the software that we released. And I wanted to go through some of those software features. And these software features are for free, downloadable every time. If you buy a headset from us, you will get these software upgrades coming, and we will listen to your input and take them as input. So first one out here is Chroma Key, which is you might know Chroma Key from the traditional film industry, where you have a green screen. And what we've done is to turn this into a real-time chroma keying, which means that our clients in simulation and training, for example, can now sit in a real cockpit and be immersed in a green screen. And then everything outside of them is a virtual content. They can be flying a plane in a completely immersed environment, but they can still see their real hands, and they can maneuver paper and pen, taking notes, and use a haptic joystick such as the one in the video here, and really get the haptic feedback that they need. So this was a request that came in the autumn, and we were able to ship it in a few months later. So we're really proud of that one. And the next one is the Varjo Marker. So using the cameras of the XR1's headset, we're able to use QR codes. So QR codes in various sizes that you can mark. And this is a replacement of the Vive tracker, basically. So you can see that the Varjo Marker is there. And then in the headset, you see a virtual object. So it follows exactly where you move. And this is a way for you to, very simple way to create virtual objects that follows you and are tracked with the cameras in the headset. So really cool way to integrate virtual objects into the real world in mixed reality. And then also talking a little bit about Workspace. So Workspace is a phenomenal new feature that we launched earlier this year, which allows you to blend between your traditional 2D interface into a three-dimensional interface. So if you're, for example, working in a CAD file with mechanics and doing details, you can still now use your keyboard and your mouse that you would normally use to control your CAD program or your 3D editor, but you can have your fully huge monitors of 100 inches or more, place them anywhere you want in the room, and be able to use that keyboard and mouse seeing your real hands and reading text on the virtual monitors and really seeing the details, but still seeing the 3D objects around you in the space. So you can actually see see that the 3D object appears here, for example, inside Unity, which is the editor that we're using here. So you can now do edits in the Unity editor, and that will affect the 3D model right away. So this is super exciting. We're excited to see what you guys are building with this. Many of our people, many have been asking for this specifically in the CAD and so tools. So that's about workspace. And now over to something that we've been requested quite a lot during these times of quarantine, and it's about collaboration. So one of the ways that we've seen traditionally is that the car industry using, for example, VRED, the Autodesk's tool for doing design reviews, they are integrating collaboration efforts into their tool. So this works with Varjo headsets, and we see that this is specifically, it works with VR headsets so far. We are in close collaboration looking at how to do these collaborations in XR as well, but for now it works with VR. But it's an exciting way to see how many of our clients are integrating collaboration into their existing tools so that they can bridge the gap, physical gaps between their, for example, the design studio that might be located in a different country than the headquarters. So more and more people can get together and review and cast cuts in flights and be able to kind of collaborate and get really the presence of feeling being there. And what I really are proud of is today, actually, we announced on Augmented World Expo that is currently running as a virtual webinar, seminar, a collaboration between Meet in VR that now supports the Varjo's mixed reality headset. So here you see a Volvo car that has been integrated into Meet in VR. You can see PDFs, and we're in a mixed reality view. We're actually here in this room, recorded in this room, and you can now shake hands and really get the sensation of presence in Meet in VR's excellent avatar functions. You can review designs and you can look at things, and this is an excellent tool for selling high-end value tool goods. And if you want to do a product presentation, this is the tool that we can offer now, which has mixed reality support enabled and lots of cool functions for drawing, note annotation. You can also use it with a desktop, and you can have different modes in there. Super excited to launch this, and together with this launch, we actually made a special offer so that everyone who buys a Varjo headset will get a 6 months free license of Meet in VR for up to 5 people for all new users, and it's including any of the headset that we have. It's the world's first human eye resolution virtual collaboration environment. With the ability to create mixed reality environments, and you can share PDFs, documents in there and everything. And so this is a super nice way, and we're really excited to onboarding more and more people onto collaborating in VR like this, and I'm sure more tools to follow, but we're super excited to announce this close collaboration.
Yeah, that's very cool, Marcus. Right, so thanks, Marcus. This concludes our tech talk for today. Let's take a look at some of the questions. Just to reiterate, we also have Enrico and Quentin from Italy and France, respectively. Now, Audrey, our marketing manager, has been monitoring the Q&A panel and the chat panel. So, Audrey, do you want to start off by asking one of the questions, please?
Yes, so I have one question already from Ian. One common discomfort with most headsets is the cyber sickness. Is it also the case with the Varjo headsets?
So with Varjo, we are working really hard on creating premium experiences. We believe that most of these VR-related sicknesses and illnesses were due to very early versions, which low resolution and low CPU power. Like you could, for example, look at the mobile headsets and the Google Cardboard, and those were not really performant. So you had a lag in the experience. So with our headset, we could say that we're monitoring the frame rates, and the latency is very, very narrow. For example, the mixed reality headsets here have a latency of under down to 15 milliseconds, which is way below the human perceivable latencies. So we believe that the resolution and the latencies that are coming with a capable PC is the way forward. And we see that, of course, some people are very sensitive to this. So there might be cases where we still see some issues, but our headsets is for sure the best way to avoid any sickness, because we are really monitoring the these kind of effects.
Yeah, that's right, Marcus. And just to add to that a little bit, yeah, back in the days, majority of people that had to use caves over HMDs. This was the reason, the applications they had in automotive, or say, for instance, flight simulators with fast-moving vehicles, for instance, or fast-moving flight simulators. You get that tearing effect if if the refresh rate is just not sufficient. So it's very good to see that Varjo has pushed the boundaries and introduced this whole new layer of ability to allow us to work in those kind of industry spaces as well.
Many of our clients are actually spending hours with using our headset. So we have people who have been using it for many, many hours. And previously, for example, Volvo had problems with their cave system that caused nausea in their simulations, but that's why they wanted to switch to mixed reality and drive a real car. And we didn't have any complaints on nausea on that one.
Thank you for that. I have another question from Lowican. Is the mixed reality capability available in all Varjo headsets?
No, the mixed reality is only available in the XR-1 developer edition. So the VR headsets does not have the cameras, so the mixed reality functions are not available there. And that means also that the Chroma Key workspace and the Varjo markers are also not available on the VR2 and VR2 Pro.
There's one question, Marcus, I see. So it's about the comfort of the headsets, and it's also about the weight and how long you can wear, essentially. Now, I'm not really a intensive headset user, but after I wore the VR2 and the XR1, it felt very comfortable, and for some reason, it just felt like the weight was counterbalanced on the head. I know that you guys spend a lot of time to making sure that ergonomically it feels right. Can you just touch on that a little bit?
Yeah, sure. I mean, we work a lot with, we have some top of the line industrial designers on board from, we're actually started out in Nokia time. So many of our employees comes from Nokia, and we have really good industrial designers that are working really hard on making this a comfortable size. It's meant for be wearing. We have clients that wear it for hours. The XR-1 developer edition is heavier than some other headsets, and it's heavier than the VR2 Pro because of the camera module. So we have, it's not on this model, but we do have a counterweight that balances up. So of course, the total weight of the headset then becomes heavier because of the counterweight, but it means that you can have a more upright and more comfortable comfortable headsets. So and also the headband here is really like evening out the pressure on you, and you can, there's many ways to adjust it with this Velcro, and also with our special knob here that ties it into your head, so it's comfortable. You can also change the face masks for different sizes. And it's possible to wear it with glasses, I should say. So it's great to be able to use it for as a person who has glasses. So you don't need to have prescription lenses in there or anything like that.
Yeah.
I see we have a question about backpacks, right? So Varjo VR2 Pro works with any backpack in the market. So we have a limitation. We have a list of recommendations when it comes to which PCs we have on the market. I do know that HP is providing one PC that is possible to use as a backpack. We've tested it. There's some, I think in the most challenging simulations, there might be some performance with the laptops as a backpack, but it's something that we have more information about on our webpage. But yeah, we've seen clients using these backpack solutions with our VR headsets.
Okay, yeah, very good. One interesting question I have, Marcus, maybe we can both answer this, but how has the marketplace changed during COVID-19, and what are your thoughts on the future beyond the pandemic and the opportunities and continuing challenges?
Yeah, it is, of course, affecting us all. And what we see is there's a lot of requests from people to be able to connect remotely. And that's why I'm talking about the collaboration and the opportunities there. I believe a lot that virtual reality can really help us connect, and with the tools such as Meeting VR, for example, you can then see people's gestures, you can work spatially, you can point, you can annotate, and things that you cannot do in a flat surface. And also great for sales meetings and so. And like more and more, I think we're going into an era of spatial collaboration where you can really get the sensation of your fellow workmates and have casual collaborations. And it's a very exciting challenge, I would say. And those challenges that we're meeting is also giving birth to great innovation. We're taking on that challenge and hoping to deliver and helping people to connect more over collaboration tools and so.
Yeah, these COVID times are definitely difficult, and obviously it's got a lot of negativity, but it has, I think, actually pushed the collaboration element further for us as well. I mean, we see more and more people, come to us asking us how they could put their hardware and software together and work remotely and more collaboratively on their projects, because obviously people still have to work. And like you said, Marcus, we were going to that direction anyway, but I just think there's a bit of a nudge and a push for it now.
Yeah, I think like there's some talks about virtual conferences, for example. I think we will see more of that. We will see that people might not take that business flight and actually like being able to do it in VR, hold a presentation with the slides and everything. These are things that we are getting more and more used to, and we're by forced into adopting this technology. We're also understanding and becoming more and more ease of use becomes easier, and that means that we're actually lowering the threshold for everyone to use this technology. So that's super exciting.
Yeah.
How easy is it to clean or sanitize the headsets after the use regarding the current COVID situation?
We have disposable one-time covers that you can add on to the headsets. We don't retail them, but they are existing. We can dig out the details on that. And then as when it comes to we have two different kinds of face masks. So one is with leather, and one is with the fabric. So depending on if you work as a private person or if it's like works on many people. So the leather one is, I think I'm not sure if it's leather, but it's, I think, some sort of leather-like fabric that is much easier to clean. So that's should be easy to sanitize. And then with this one is, of course, very comfortable when you're working alone as a single person. So they're easy to clean, I would say. And we do that, of course, always with care.
Yeah.
Great, thank you.
One thing on that, sorry, Audrey, is the IPD control as well. The fact that, you got that automatic focus in a public environment, for instance, I find that, you don't get a lot of people fiddling a lot with the headsets. You just put it on and that's it. You don't really need to do much. It'll just adjust to your pupil's distance and you're good to go. So, it's only essentially just a small area where, it has to be sanitized with the headsets. So that's another good point as well.
And I should say that this is removable. So you can remove this whole piece. And that means that if you're in a demo, I mean, usually when we're doing demos, we have a number of these with us. You can take them off both there, and you can also take them off like with a Velcro here. So you can have a bunch of these and then have them sanitized by someone during the demo situation. So you can have a number of these pre-sanitized, or you can take them off and sanitize them while the person is in the demo. So that's simple.
Yeah, thanks.
Great, thank you for that. I have another question from Neil. Will it work wireless?
Our headsets are tethered to a PC as they are right now. And that is because we need, many of our customers are asking us to, they are working with the most heaviest duty simulations. And for that, we need the power of the PC. So it gives us lower latency, and it gives us also the power of the rendering that we need. So it's they are tethered, but the cable is 10 meters. It means that it covers most of the spaces, normal office spaces or so, and also in the design studios you are able to use that. But yeah, there is a cable. It's not wireless.
Thank you. I have another question regarding the software from Keith. Do you buy the software separate to the headset?
The software comes for free download together with from our webpage, and we ship that with a regular cadence of 8 weeks. So we have software coming out every now and then, and that's for free download. So it's you just download it from our webpage. And if you mean the application software, that is up to most of our clients have their own software, or they're buying a third-party software for doing edits. It could be a CAD suite, or it could be a VRID, for example. We have support for a number of engines and enterprise-specific engines, so that's up to a discussion between us and our clients to make sure that we have support, and that software is then not something that we're selling together. But that's, I guess, with our value-added retailers such as Antycip, you can do bundles. There might be bundles out there that are including both software and hardware.
Yeah, so of course, obviously, Varjo works with a lot of these software providers to basically make sure that the software works with the Varjo software and hardware optimally. So they have a lot of APIs that they go through, and they do a merger. So like Marcus said, there's a range of software providers already out there. There are some big names such as the ones such as the one I mentioned earlier, TechViz. They spend that time with Varjo to make sure that their software is optimized for Varjo headsets, to make sure that it can use all of the pixels and all of the bandwidth and all of the capabilities of what the Varjo hardware has. If your software is not optimized, for instance, then you're not tapping into the full features of the Varjo headsets. But yeah, like Marcus said, there's a range of softwares that have already been through that journey and are optimized.
Thanks. We also have a question for Enrico regarding IG. Is the headset IG dependent, and what IG has it been tested with?
Yeah, so IG, or commonly known as image generator, which is the term used in simulation and training vertical. It means that as an image generator is basically the surrounding that you're training in, so the world that you're in, and that we have, since we are very enterprise focused, and many of our customers are in the simulation segment, we have a support for a range of different image generators. We work very tightly with most of the big companies. All the major image generators are supported by our headset. And that's something that we do very tight integration together with the image generators, the producers of the image generators, everything from Prepared to Bohemia, Blue, VBS. I don't have the list of all them, but you can find the list on our webpage. But most of them should be supported. And there might be specifically proprietary solutions that we have not support for, but so far most of the major image generators are supported.
Marcus, I would also like to add that Antycip has a very own image generator that is MyEG, and it is currently under a process of integration in order to make it perfectly suitable for Varjo Technologies. So this is just to highlight that Varjo is not only open to integrating capabilities in terms of technical requirements, but also more than available to help for any of your requests. That's it.
Exactly. Yeah. Thank you for adding that. Yeah. Thanks. We have experts that could answer exactly. If you have a question on that, please send me an email and I'll redirect you to which image generator that you need support for.
Marcus, just a quick question I've got. Try to answer quite quickly if you can. We're running out of time here, but it's kind of like a broad question. It's stuff that you touched upon, but what are the advantages of Varjo headsets versus others? Like if you were quickly just to mention a few that you think that stick out to mind, why does Varjo stand out in comparison to other manufacturers?
You mean with headsets?
Yeah, with the headsets, the advantages of the headset. So
yeah, it's really like the resolution, the fact that you have mixed reality capabilities, which is completely unique. The eye tracking is built in, integrated. It's not an add-on solution. It's built into the hardware. And we are very enterprise focused, which means that you will get, as part of buying into our hardware, you will also get support, and we do custom integrations, and we help out to make sure that you will succeed in your virtual reality experiences.
Thank you. Audrey, should we just pick one more question to answer? I think we're running out of time. So
I have one good question from Michael. Is there a limit to the number of headsets that can be linked up?
That's there's in practice no limitation. We have one headset per PC, so you would have to network the PCs, and we are working on a number of ways to do that. Usually that is on the engine side, and there might be limitations in the engine side. I know that, for example, Meeting VR is supporting, I think, 15 or something like that, but they could probably scale to more. It's something that is engine dependent. That means that software dependent. So in per se, we don't have any specific limitations on our hardware, but there is a need for networking the different PCs. It could be either if you do it locally, they would be locally connected in the same room, or if there is a networked remote situation, you would have to use multiplayer APIs such as Unreal has that, and there is also other like there is third-party software that you can download and add into your software. I know VRED doesn't have a specific limitation on that, so it's a little bit dependent on the software that you're using. But from our hardware perspective, there's no limitation in the number of users.
Marcus, sorry, I just noticed another question. It could be, it's a technical one, I think. Are these headsets compatible with motion-based flight simulators? Any example of their use in high-frequency physical motion environments, e.g. like wind in wind turbulence? So this question is by Mark.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I wish I had an expert on that here, but I would say that we've like specifically on the movement, there is a need for compensating the IMU movements of the place that you're in. There might be like when we like, and there are, for example, a tracking system such as LPR, like LP Research. They work together with ART to create an IMU-based compensation system that creates tracking that works also in moving vehicles, for example. So I wonder if that would be something to play in. I don't know if we have, I mean, we've seen like if the chair, for example, is moving, it should be working because you're essentially, you have your IMU inside the headset should be able to compensate for that. So I think it should be compatible out of the box actually, but if it's so that you're in a moving vehicle, for example, in a moving car, and you want to simulate and make sure that the sign of the car is fixed, then you would need to compensate for the movement of the car inside with an automotive grade IMU. So I don't know if that's what you're referring to, if it's because if it's just a moving chair, then it should be just sync the chair with the simulation, and then you know if you have a reference point outside with the steam towers, then it shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah.
But if the steam system is inside the moving like the simulator, then that's something that we would need to kind of work out together, and we're happy to help you with that and look into more and give you the support that you need on that one.
Yeah, it could be a hardware or a software. Okay, that's great. Well, Mark, if that doesn't answer your question, please feel free to reach out to us. So we're kind of out of time now. I'm going to quickly just go back to our presentation. But essentially, thank you all for attending the webinar. This brings us to the end of the session. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us anytime. Whereas Varjo, Antycip, we're all happy to help you. But for now, take good care, and I hope to speak to you all soon. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Cheers. Bye.